Hi! Good day everyone! I am Abigail M. Agustin of Bid4C. I am here today to address the problems that we are facing about global warming. This presentation is entitled, Stop Global Warming Towards a Greener Philippines. For our rationale, global warming is caused by carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases that are trapped in our atmosphere. This accumulation causes climate changes, which then leads to different natural occurrences. According to the most recent IPCC assessment report, which was published in 2021 to 2022, climatic consequences are occurring at a considerable faster rate and on a larger scale than previously believed. The Philippines is extremely susceptible to the effects of climate change, including rising sea levels, more frequent occurrences of extreme weather, rising temperatures, and heavy rains. This is a result of its extensive coast, where all of its major cities and the bulk of its population are located. Significant vulnerability to natural hazards like cyclones, landslides, floods, and droughts, dependency on climate-sensitive natural resources, and dependence on these resources. We need to stop global warming, and the first step in doing that is to educate ourselves. The purpose of this presentation is to inform young people about how global warming is affecting the Philippines. On a bigger scale, this could be a tool to stop global warming and steer the Philippines toward a greener future. Here are the problems caused by global warming in the Philippines. We are experiencing decrease of stronger tropical cyclones since 1980. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA named 21 tropical cyclones during 2019 that occurred within the Philippine Area of Responsibility during the Philippines TC season. This was near normal when compared against the 1981. The country might also lose 6% of its GDP yearly by 2100 if it ignores climate change's threats, according to a report on the economics of climate change by the Asian Development Bank. According to the most recent IPCC or Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change Assessment report, between now and 2100, there will be an increase in the number of poor people. People who have the least in life are more at danger of dying because of poverty creates disaster susceptibility. Therefore, it would be unfair to the weak and vulnerable people to remain indifferent and do nothing about the concerns of climate change. And ocean temperatures in the Philippines have experienced increases of 45 degrees Celsius above average. Warmer waters harm coral reefs, which can cause fish populations to decline and jeopardize food security. According to research, although a degraded coral reef may only support 4 to 5 tons of reef fish per year, a healthy, undamaged coral reef can support a yearly harvest of 15 to 20 tons. According to data, storms accounts for 56% of all natural hazards occurrences. Flood comes in second place, responsible for 24% of all natural hazard occurrences. These occurrences pose a risk to the Philippines due to its geographical location in relation to the effects of global warming. Now, what are the effects of global warming in the Philippines? With the exception of Luzon, a 2011 PAGASA analysis predicts a drop in rainfall by 2020 in the majority of the nation. However, in terms of extreme rainfall, it is anticipated that between the years 2020 and 2050, there would be an increase in the frequency of days with heavy rainfall. Example, more than 200 millimeters. Climatic changes could severely harm the 1 million hectares of grasslands in the Philippines. Most grasslands in the uplands are prone to fires, especially during prolonged dry spells and low rainfall in the summer. According to the 2016 Low Carbon Monitor report, if current trends in global warming continue, 98% of coral reefs in the Southeast Asia would perish by 2050, thereby going extinct by the end of the century. According to IPCC predictions, the maximum fish catch potential of Philippine waters could drop by as much as 50% by the years 2051 to 2060 compared to values from 2001 to 2010. An analysis of temperature trends and irrigated fields experiments at the International Rice Research Institute shows that grain yield decreased by at least 10% for each 1 degree Celsius increase in growing season minimum temperature in the dry season. Global warming exacerbates El Niño's effects. The most recent one hit the nation in 2015 to 2016. According to estimates from the Department of Agriculture, the latest El Niño periods, drought and dry spells directly impacted 413,456 farmers. In Kidapawan, North Cotabato, in 2016, the drought sparked a protest by 6,000 affected farmers that descended into violence. The Philippines has the highest observed sea level increase at 60 cm, which is notably higher than the global average of 19 cm. This puts at least 60% of LGUs covering 64 coastal provinces, 822 coastal municipalities, 25 major coastal cities, and an estimated 13.6 million Filipinos that would need relocation. According to a World Resources Institute report, a high level of water shortage is expected in the Philippines by 2040. The nation was placed 57 out of 167 nations in terms of predicted water stress in 2040. Increases in the prevalence of diseases including dengue, malaria, cholera, and typhoid are also brought on by rising temperatures. Almost 40,000 dengue cases, 1,200 cholera cases, and nearly 1,000 typhoid fever cases were reported nationally in 1998. The year the Philippines witnessed the biggest El Niño phenomena to date. According to a 2016 United Nations study, workplace heat due to climate change is expected to reduce working hours by 1% by 2025, 2% by 2050, and 4% by 2085. Lastly, according to research published by the WHO on gender, climate change, and health, women die from natural disasters including droughts, floods, and storms at a higher rate than men do, and do so at younger ages. Health consequences that are climate sensitive and gender specific disproportionately affect women. Here are some negative impacts of global warming in our country's agriculture. According to CSA, Country Profiles for Asia Series, International Center for Tropical Agriculture, a large proportion of damages from disasters, which are generally climate-related, are experienced by the agricultural sector each year. From 1990 to 2006, damages to agricultural production were caused by typhoons, 70%, droughts, 18%, and floods, 5%. On average, annual typhoon-related damages to the sector are estimated at $136 million. The provinces of Cagayan Valley, Pangasinan, Isabela, Nueva Ecija, Iloilo, and Camarines Sur, the country's top rice producers, are highly exposed to floods and typhoons. Meanwhile, North Cotabato and Maguindanao, the food baskets in Mindanao, are more prone to droughts and El Niño events. The 2016 El Niño season brought pest infestation. Example, armyworm and rodents in Central Luzon, Soc-Sargen, and ARM regions. Moreover, 181,687 farmers, representing 224,843 hectares of farmland, were affected by the 2016 drought. On this group, 54% were rice farmers, 38% maize farmers, and 8% high-value crop farmers. The people will be most affected as they spend a larger percentage of their income on food, and the highest price hikes are anticipated for corn, rice, and fruits and vegetables. Climate change is predicted to cause an increase the number of people at risk of hunger of 8% by 2030 and 12.8% by 2050. In general, under climate change, all production systems in the Philippines are expected to undergo changes in productivity. As you can see on the data, during 2020, there was a decline in rice by 0.8%, subtropical fruits by 0.7%, corn by 3.8%, and coconut oil by 0.9%. Corn consistently drops by twice as much in subsequent years 2030, 2040, and 2050. A negative value denotes potential decreases in area and yield expressed as percentage difference in a climate change scenario. In 2019, Philippines emitted 236.79 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent, representing 0.48% of global emissions Philippines. 2019, 38 out of 197 countries. Based on Climate Watch data, energy has the highest contribution in carbon dioxide emissions in the country, taking 51% of the overall number emitted. Agriculture ranking second with a 25.47% contribution. In general, the overwhelming body of scientific evidences show that climate change is a significant global problem that necessitates an immediate international response. We conclude that the availability of water, the ability to produce food, people's health, and the environment will all be impacted by climate change. As the world warms, hundreds of millions of people might experience famine, water shortages, and coastal floods. The rising rate of global warming is largely due to people. The suggested remedies aim to make the world cleaner, whilst the skeptics will choose to do nothing. We, as educators and students, can do so much better to help lessen the effect of global warming in our country. We learned a lot about the future issues that global warming may bring, not just to the Philippines but to the entire planet. Knowledge is power, and educating our peers and future students about the sustainable development goals will have a significant positive impact, and to address the challenge of climate change and to have a greener Philippines. We will require a combination of adaptation and mitigation efforts. All of us who live on this world is already experiencing it. If you choose not to participate, one fewer attempt will be made to save the Philippines, and more crucially, the entire planet. If we act quickly now, there is still time to prevent the worst effects of global warming, and we will be on our way towards a greener Philippines. Global warming is now a global threat, and we're possibly in our 11th hour. However, we still believe that we can do something to stop it. These are the following recommendations that we come up after presenting the data. First, speak up and educate yourself. We can use the internet and our influences in social media to strengthen the information dissemination about sustainable development goals. By doing this, we can express our concern to the Philippines and to the world. Second, help in the comfort of your home. If you are thinking of ways on how you can participate to stop global warming in the comfort of your home, then this is it. Reducing water waste and conserving water also lowers carbon emissions. This is due to how much energy is required to pump, heat, and treat your water. So cut back on your shower time and turn off the water while you brush your teeth. Another thing that you can do is to unplug devices that you are not using. Wasted energy from appliances left on standby is also responsible for 4 metric tons of excess carbon dioxide each year, as well as prevent unexpected fire from happening. The Guardian 2007. These simple ways can contribute in healing our planet. Lastly, reduce, reuse, and recycle. This routine is actually being taught to us since we were young. However, majority of us chose to decline our responsibility to reduce garbage waste. Philippines have no stronghold to those people who litter on different sides of the streets. The government has poor enforcement of the legislation and a lack of sanitary landfills. On the other hand, people neglect to do the correct garbage disposal, which leads to a rise in the volume of solid waste. To us, these suggestions are everything but routine. We also don't adhere to the majority of it though. These are only a few simple things that individuals like us may do to assist. We cannot afford to believe that ignorance is bliss at this time. Keep in mind that we are in danger of going extinct, so take part and get involved while you can. Thank you very much for listening. I hope my presentation enlightened each and every one of you what is global warming and negative impacts of this in our country. Again, I am Abigail M. Agustin, leaving you a saying that change starts from you. Be clean, be green.